Hey, good morning, everyone. It is another live stream on NBA betting today. It's my guy knows a guy. I'm joined by my brother, Chris B. Cabin from Twitter. We're ready to attack another NBA schedule. It's Friday, March 25th. Good morning, Chris. How's it going? Say what's up to everyone, bro.
Good morning, bro. Good morning, Friday. Appreciate you having me on, bro. It's been a long time coming, bro. So yeah, it feels good to be up here, be able to chop it up with you, kind of break down the slate, go over some analysis and what we kind of project and predict for the day's slate, man.
Great, great. Yeah, and thanks for joining me as well. He's a busy guy. If you guys don't know, Chris, he hosts a Twitter Spaces in the evening. Well, it's actually at different times, but usually it's in late afternoon or the evening Eastern Standard Time, depending on what time zone you're in. It's a large group of people that get together, with very sharp minds, hosted by Chris, to get together and really just bet on NBA games, find quality looks, share insights, share information. So if you guys have a chance, make sure you join Twitter Spaces. It's an interactive feature on Twitter where you can join and listen to other people. You don't have to speak. You can get plenty of jewels, plenty of gems as well. I just wanted to share Chris's work because he's doing a really, really great job. Other than that, we're going to continue on to today. Like I said, it's Friday. Crazy stuff happens in the NBA on Friday. Yesterday, we had a really, really successful live stream. I didn't bet everything that I said, but overall, it was very, very positive. Shout out to J Soul Picks yesterday as well. Hit us with a banger on the Pelicans. I definitely tailed them on that. We're going to continue on to today. I'll pull up some of the stats, Chris. I just like to go game to game. I know you've seen a couple of the live streams in the past. I like to go game to game. I'll pull up some of the stats. Can't wait to hear some of your thoughts. Other than that, though, just while I pull up the stats, tell everybody how'd your last couple of days go NBA betting? How'd the last couple of days go for you?
Yeah, Friday. So I'm a late better, bro. Like a lot of people reach out to me on Twitter and they ask me for like officials because all my plays are free. I chop it up every day with a bunch of like brilliant minds in the space as well. A lot of really sharp guys and sharp takes in there. Yesterday I didn't have the greatest day yesterday. I actually didn't really like the slate too much. But of course all my leans hit, right? So of course I had a lean to the Pelicans, just fading Chicago's defense, specifically on the road. And without DeRozan, they look like a shell of themselves, especially late in the fourth quarter last night against the Pelicans. I also thought that who was it? Phoenix. I thought Phoenix. I just don't bet against Phoenix. So I thought Phoenix would cover, and they end up having a really really strong second half, fighting back. Devin Booker looked like a man amongst boys last night. Chris Paul looked exceptionally well in a return game, being how old he is, and just dominated, man. So I had those two leans. I didn't make either one of them official Friday. I ended up playing like a couple, just really small picks on player props, and one of them was
Yeah.
O'Shea Brissett. His 3-pointers were like 1.5. I really like that. He shot 7, only made 1. so I like the opportunity. The Pacers were without a bunch of guys. Didn't really show up at all. That Memphis team is a juggernaut, whether they have, no matter who they have on the court Friday. So yeah, not too much. The
Yeah, it was a
last
short slate yesterday. And then also the games yesterday were implicated by injuries. I was actually telling everyone I really wanted Gary Trent Jr. to be in there, but shout out to the Raptors. They got it done. We took that from the Cavs yesterday. As I said, Jared Allen it presents a different look. It presents a different lineup for the Raptors without Jared Allen. They smoked the Raptors a couple of times with Jared Allen. Evan Mobley might need to get into the weight room. He has a very, very bright future ahead of him, everyone, but Evan Mobley needs to get his weight up, messing with some of these playoff teams if he's going to be playing at the 5. On to tonight's schedule, though. It's a loaded schedule. A couple of matchups are not as attractive as they should be. A couple of teams seem to be a bit complacent in the standings. We only have about 9 to 10 games remaining. We're in the home stretch. We're at that period of the year, everyone, where we have ample amounts of data to make our decisions, but the odds makers do as well. So you just want to make sure you're on the right side. A lot of news. You're going to see a lot of news, especially revolving around franchise players going into the playoffs. As we saw yesterday, John Morant, they're essentially resting him up until the playoffs. He's going to be out for 2 weeks. Chris Paul, he is back. Just keep your eye on the news. It's a daily grind with the NBA news, but I just really want to stress that going into the playoffs, you are going to see a lot of players resting, a lot of teams that are satisfied with their standings. So just try to make the best decision you can. Let's move on to today's schedule. It's what everyone's here for. If you guys can, before we continue, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel just before we get started. If this is your first time watching, hit the button at the top. come over to the YouTube app and subscribe to the channel, and also follow Crispy Captain on Twitter as well. We're going to get into the slate right now. Enough with the intro. Chris, opening thoughts. Jazz, Hornets, two teams in different in different predicaments. The Utah Jazz, they're solidly into the playoffs. They can't really catch the Warriors. I think the Warriors have solidified the 4 seed. The 3 seed. I'm sorry. The Jazz, I don't think they're going to be able to catch the Warriors. I'm not really sure if they have their foot on the gas pedal. I don't think they want it to be the 3 seed, but also they haven't been playing their best basketball since the All-Star break, in my opinion. I think there's some dissension in this locker room. There are going to be some big changes to this organization going forward. I have a couple of props looks in this game, but I'm very interested to hear what you have to say, bro. How do you feel about this matchup? The Hornets as well are coming off of a very disappointing loss at home against the New York Knicks, where they essentially took everyone's money in that game. It was a very unpredictable outcome, but it was one of those days where the Knicks just shot lights out. We know that the Hornets defense is not that good. How do you feel about this matchup? Give us your analysis, bro.
Yeah, Friday. So I think everything you just said, I would agree with, man. Like I don't trust the Jazz at home. I'm sorry, I don't trust the Jazz on the road. Like it's really hard to trust them on the road. But also, the injury bug is caught up with them as well. I think not having Bojan Bogdanovic, who's also already listed as out today, he's not coming back. Puts a lot of work on the Jordan Clarksons of the world. It's even more of a load for him. Mike Conley. Donovan Mitchell point prop is up to 29.5 now Friday, which I think is crazy, but he could definitely, end up hitting that tonight. Like you said, you get the Jazz who are coming off 2, really, really bad losses. The game against Brooklyn, it was close for a stretch, but then Brooklyn was able to kind of pull away. But then just a beatdown, a total beatdown in Boston. That was a massacre Friday. Like that was pretty bad, bro. So you get them coming off 1 day's rest. They play again, in Dallas on Sunday. This is a 4th game of a 6-game road trip for them as well. And then on the opposite side, you get, like you said, you get Charlotte coming off their disappointing loss before winning 5 games in a row. They've covered 4 of the last 6 though Friday. So like you said, they just stole everybody's money in that last game. This is the last game for them. Also Friday in a 5-game homestand. And for myself, Friday, when I'm typically targeting Utah, it's typically at home when they're rested. They've played a bunch of games recently. When I target Charlotte, I like to target Charlotte actually on the road. In their recent schedule Friday, and I know you know this, if you do this stuff every day, Charlotte's been catching a lot of teams Friday on the second game of a back-to-back. They did it to Dallas the other day. They did it to the Knicks and still end up losing. But if you go back and look at some of the recent wins, it's been a lot of those games on second night of a back-to-back. On second night of a back-to-back. The one thing I found interesting though Friday, because I did some deep diving for this game. One thing I found interested in this one Friday is the revenge factor for Charlotte. I haven't had a chance to take a deep dive to see like how they perform in those matchups, but they haven't beaten the Utah Jazz Friday since January 12th, 2018. That's 8 straight losses against Charlotte. Location hasn't mattered. But the facts about that, if we're talking about trends, that the Jazz are 0-5 ATS in their last 5 road games versus a team with the losing home record. They're 1-8 ATS in their last 9 following a straight up loss of more than 10 points, and they're 1-7 ATS in their last 8 road games. So I'm saying all that to say, although they are 4-1 ATS in the last 5 meetings against Charlotte. So I'm saying all that Friday just to say that I don't trust Utah on the road. They should be desperate. Yeah, they really should be. You get Mike Conley in and out of the lineup as well. I think he plans to play today. And then on the opposite side of things, you get Charlotte at home, which I'd like to take Charlotte, on the road. All of their numbers just are a little bit better on the road. I do like the idea though Friday, and I know I'm being long-winded, but I do like the idea of Charlotte being at home for this game, just because they have been shooting, on the same rim consistently for 5 straight games now, and this is the last game of their road trip. So if I had a look at all in this game, one of the things I was looking at Friday, and I don't lock any of my plays in early at all. I like to, make sure I get, the necessary information and data that we need,
it's early, but
to make educated picks. But I was actually looking at Utah first quarter Friday, just looking at some of the quotes from Quinn Snyder, and some of the other guys in that locker room. They talked about how poorly they performed in the first quarter against Boston. To me, that wasn't expected for them to perform that poorly, but we know Boston is top 5
The
defensive.
game got out of hand so quickly.
Every statistical category. Right? I don't expect that from Charlotte. I do not expect Charlotte to be able to come out and dominate, from a defensive standpoint early in this game. I think that Utah will come out with a sense of urgency. So one of the things I was looking at Friday was the Utah Jazz team total over 58. Utah Jazz first quarter team total over 28.5. I think they could easily have 30 at the end of the first quarter. They get the Utah Jazz play at a slower pace, but they get a Charlotte team that's been plays a little faster. We know that Charlotte's been slowing down their pace as well. The Jazz are averaging 27 points first quarter Friday on the road post All-Star break. You get a Charlotte team that's allowing 29.1 first quarter points post All-Star break at home, right? Over the last 5 home games, that number goes up to 30 points that Charlotte's allowing in the first quarter Friday. So that's one of the things I was looking at. Charlotte's also ranked 20th in defensive, just a defensive rating at home post All-Star break. The defense doesn't play as well at home. So that's one of the things I'll look a little more into as the day goes on Friday is that Utah Jazz first quarter team total over 28.5. But then my favorite player prop, or at least the one that I think I really like Friday, is Rudy Gobert. So his rebounds are sitting at 14.5. I know that number is extremely high, and I typically don't take players with a number that high. But I do expect this to be a close game as the bookmakers have this game, I think, being like a 3 or 4 point spread. He gets a matchup against Plumlee. Like I love that. For one, because Plumlee isn't the greatest rebounder, but also Plumlee plays at the rim Friday. So I'm not worried about, Rudy Gobert having to be outside of the rim where he can't get those rebounds. Charlotte is also, bottom 8 in rebounding against centers, and the team ranks 20th overall in rebounding at home post All-Star break. So I think Rudy Gobert could go in there and could easily, could be one of those nights where he has 18 to 20 rebounds.
Amazing analysis. Thanks for breaking the game down in the way you did. I like how you laid it out in order as well. Let us know your thoughts on this Jazz Hornets game in the chat as well, everyone. Appreciate all the comments as well. I do want to make note of Mason Plumlee. It does seem, because I'm a Mason Plumlee detractor. I know he's trash, right? But it really does seem like he's improved his play compared to the standard that he set for himself since Montrezl Harrell has been since they brought Montrezl Harrell, and the writing was on the wall for Mason Plumlee. I actually thought he was going to lose his starting job when the Hornets made that trade. It seems like he has elevated his play just a bit, but he is still the fatal flaw of the Charlotte Hornets. The interior defense of the Hornets is non-existent. We've been attacking matchups against this team with good timing for most of the season. There are a couple of games where centers go in there and they know they have the matchup edge. They don't really give the best effort, but I do feel like this Jazz team individually, okay, they have a couple of things to shore up defensively on the perimeter, which is shocking to say because last year this was a team that was elite in most defensive metrics. But now it really does seem like their defense is basically Rudy Gobert or nothing. Even the pace of the game increases dramatically during the minutes when Rudy Gobert comes off of the court. Also, don't forget that Rudy Gobert had an injury earlier in the season. So it does seem like the Jazz are just trying to make sure these guys are healthy for this one last final run in the playoffs. But when it comes to this matchup today, there is a big matchup edge for Rudy Gobert. And I'm aligned on that prop, basketball wise as well. There's another prop in this game that I've played, that I've actually played. It's one of my picks today. It's a half unit bet on Donovan Mitchell over 5.5 assists. It's shaded up to 5.5. Usually it's set at 4.5, but I believe it's set at 5.5 for a reason. Donovan Mitchell has been the main playmaker for this team as Mike Conley begins to age right before our eyes. I do believe that he will be attacking this defense today. Coming off the 37-point game, though, it's imperative for the Hornets to throw the kitchen sink at Donovan Mitchell tonight defensively. I really do think he's going to be double teamed today, especially in the absence of Bogdanovich, as you noted, Chris. So I think we're going to get playmaking Mitchell today. I'm not taking his points prop. It's a tough look on the surface, but if you dig deep, you can see, over the last 20 games, this is a prop that has hit with relative ease. He's coming off 2 games against a motivated Brooklyn team and the Boston Celtics team that has the best defense in the NBA since January 1st. Donovan Mitchell went under his assist total in both of those games. I don't think it's exactly his fault. He did put up points. He was still making plays, but the treatment that he was getting defensively was stifling. I don't think that the Hornets have that same personnel. I think he breaks loose, and I think he helps some of the shooters get right today. Over 5.5 assists for Donovan Mitchell for me for a half unit bet. I know he's not a very popular guy right now. It's not. The Jazz aren't very popular overall. But it looks like Gobert rebounds for you, or a Gobert pair. I think Matt, shout out to Matt too. Matt McAfee in the chat as well. Our brother, also from the community on Twitter. He did say stay maybe 15-15 for Gobert tonight. What's your projection for Gobert? And do you have a pick for the game winner? We can move on to the other games pretty soon. Shout out to everyone in the chat as well.
Nah, for sure, Friday. So yeah, bro. I think I like the look on the just how you kind of pivoted away from his points Friday. But I think that I gave out Donovan Mitchell points over in the Knicks game. Well, no, I didn't. I think Sosa gave that out, but it was the game following. I think he just gets the increased usage Friday. So even if you don't necessarily want to take the over 5.5 assists, or you think that the point prop is sitting, a tad bit too high, I just think that he overall impacts the game in such an increased way without having Bojan out there. Like, that's just more usage for him. So I'm looking at his points right now, Friday, like 37, 30, 36, 37. So yeah, we know Charlotte's not a good defensive team either. So I would look, even if you wanted to not take one or the other, I think combining both of them together, which will probably be a line like 37.5. I think that probably hits as well. As far as Rudy Gobert points, man, I can't get right with this guy, dude. It's not something that I'm willing to bet my hard-earned money on. I know a lot of people.
They set it so high for him every time. Now it's because we're at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people came into space the other day, Friday, and I think they had his double-double in a win against the Nets, and he finished with 9 points. And it's like, they hate him on the offensive end Friday. like, dude, they absolutely hate him. This would be a game. You talked about the interior defense for Charlotte, and or the lack thereof. So it would be a game that you would think that his points would be, his point probably got increased based on opportunity against them. But it's nothing that I would feel comfortable with Friday. Maybe a double-double, but which is probably like terrible odds. But I can't play Rudy Gobert's points. So unless I'm making like a smaller parlay and kind of altering it down, I can't play his point prop.
Let us know. I'm sure you're going to finalize later, and it's just a spot. I know you've done the research. Let's move on. It's early. You don't have to force anything right now. I definitely respect it, and it sounds like the research has already been done. That's what's important. Now we just have to see how things fall in line with the injury report. There are always factors out of your control in NBA betting, everyone. So I always like to say, sometimes in the NBA it's beneficial to bet early. Sometimes it's beneficial to wait until the very last minute. Every game is different. Subscribe to the channel and hit the like button as well. We'll continue. Hey, Matt, in the chat, let us know what's the highest you'll take Gobert up to. What's the highest you'll go? What's your cutoff? I'm interested to hear that as well. Let's move on.
He'll probably say 20 Friday.
20.
If I had to guess,
go for the big prize. Big prize.
Yeah, he's hit that too. Shout out to Matt in the chat, because Matt's definitely hit that. Also, Friday, just real quick, injury news. They are also I know Whiteside is questionable, and I think his name isn't coming to me right off the top of my head, but their third string center, I think he's out today, Friday. So that could be increased opportunity as well. I do think that Utah wants to win this game because of the 2 losses. So I do think you get a motivated Utah team, and I'm just not sold yet Friday on Charlotte's defense, specifically at home, man. Even though they lost last game against the Knicks without Julius Randle,
I know. So, RJ Barrett's looking like Kobe these days, though. It's crazy, bro. No, for real. RJ Barrett he sees Julius Randle out of the lineup, and he says, "This is my team. This is my squad now." RJ Barrett, but
talked about that yesterday, Friday. I really think that he wants to be a franchise player. I don't know what that'll look like Friday, but I do think that he's sending a quiet message to the organization and to the fan base of New York in the Garden, and saying, hey, like, give me the keys and watch what I do. You know what I mean? Like, I love his work ethic, bro. Like, I'm a big fan of RJ. I'm not taking his point prop. They got it all the way up to like 28.5, right? I've never thought I'd see that in life. But yeah, I'm not taking that. But yeah, he's balling right now, Friday, for sure.
Okay, yeah. That's about it for that game. We probably spent a bit longer than we
Right.
anticipated.
That's
I
my
think
fault, Friday.
I think
I'm
we
long
I think we
winded.
can reduce the next game. No, it's not your fault, bro. I'll talk about the games for 3 hours, bro. If some people watch, they watch. I'll talk about the games for 3 or 4 hours offline, But we can definitely spend less than 30 seconds on this one though. Wizards, Pistons. No, I'm just joking. The Pistons have been big time moneymakers since the All Star break, really in the month of March as well. The Pistons, I can't tell you how many times a day I see the Pistons name on social media now. They have really come on strong, and it's there are two major factors here. One, the rapid development of Cade Cunningham. It's rapid development. He hit a rookie wall in January, beginning of February, but since then he's really rapidly accelerated his development. Sadiq Bey as well, rapid development for Sadiq Bey. But the other thing, they have inserted veterans on this team, players that were purposely not activated so they could tank, so they could have the worst record. Now they can play ball because most of the dirty work has been solidified. The Pistons deserve a top pick again for their tanking efforts this season. They did it expertly. Jeremy Grant, Corey Joseph, Kelly Olynyk, they probably could have played since the beginning of the season. These are NBA vets. But when it comes to this game, I have one simple play for me in this game, everyone. It's Sadiq Bey over 16 and a half points. I took it at minus 120. I think he bounces back today against a Wizards defense that's almost non-existent. Last night was a mob game against the Bucks. They outscored the Bucks by 20 points in the fourth quarter as well. That's why when it comes to some of these bottom of the barrel teams, I'm not picking too many point spreads in this home stretch because you never know the intention of the organization, right? The Pistons are supposed to take these guys out, no rest tonight, but this Wizards team really played excellent basketball for one quarter last night, the fourth quarter. I'm a bit scared that it carries over to the beginning of this game. No play for me on the side, but a small bet for me here on Sadiq Bey to bounce back over 16 and a half points. How do you feel about this game? And I definitely lied. It was more than 30 seconds, Chris. We're still talking about Wizards and the Pistons.
Honestly, Friday, when I'm breaking these games down, dude, I'm like, I'm looking at, how much value I can find. And I feel like a lot of betting Friday is avoiding, bro. Like we just have to avoid bad spots and not stay there too long. But I feel like I saw something in this Friday. Like you said, they did, they did outscore, the Bucks by 20 in the fourth to make it look respectful. But I mean, it really wasn't. Like they dominated them. And Wes Unseld, I was reading his quotes and he was talking about how they have to come out with, a sense of urgency. I just don't see that though, Friday. Kuzma, injury wise, is something that's going to be super big as well. He's questionable for this game, so he could make his return tonight. Frank Jackson is also coming back and listed as probable on the Detroit side of things. But for me, Friday, it's still a fade of the Wizards defense, dude. Like they're terrible, man. They are really terrible. You get them on the second night of a back-to-back, 3-game road trip. I don't know if you knew this, Friday, but the Wizards have not won a road game post All-Star break. They're 0-8. The average, trash. And the funny thing is, Friday, is they still aren't eliminated technically out of playoff, that play-in spot for contention.
Because of the start they had, it was crazy. They even had me tweeting, bro. The first 2 weeks of the season, we might all need to delete our tweets about the Wizards, everyone. We might need to all go back and delete. They tricked everybody now, but they don't have the same roster. Hey, the Pistons are money-making machines, Chris. I'm sorry to cut you off. Continue. I just wanted to.
No.
They had a hot start, bro. They can't even tank. The Wizards started the season so well, they couldn't even tank properly. They did too much damage to themselves, winning so many games.
That's a fact, Friday. That's a fact, bro. So what I was looking at in this one Friday was because I'm talking about how bad the Wizards have been, I don't see them motivated, specifically on the road. Like they're even worse on the road. So with that 0-8, road record post All-Star break, the average margin of victory Friday is 10.1, dude. Like they're not even keeping these games close. That's fourth. That's the fourth worst, behind only the Bulls on the road post All-Star break, the Rockets, and the Blazers. So if your name's being mentioned with those teams that we know are like, tanking and just, in redevelopment mode, I feel like I gotta play it Friday. So you get a triple revenge game for Detroit as well. They lost the 3 games that they played so far this year to the Wizards by 3, the first one. by 9, the second one, and by 3 in the third one. The 3-point loss, the first 3-point loss was the only game that they played in Detroit. That game actually went to overtime. I don't know if people remember, but I think that was the game that Kuzma hit the game winning 3-pointer to walk off. Right. So I think that the line has clearly shifted. Right. So because
Definitely.
this one opened, I think, at 4.5, and it's probably like stayed there. If I had to play a side in this one Friday, I think I'd take Detroit, man. I honestly think I would take Detroit. You get a Wizards team that's 1-5 ATS in their last 6 games following an ATS loss. So they've produced more unsuccess with more unsuccess, right? Then you also get a Wizards team that's 3-14-1 in their last 18 games versus a team with a winning percentage below 40%. And Detroit's been hot, man. I don't even have to read all the stats, but 7-0 ATS following, in their last 7 following a straight up win. Head to head, the Wizards are also 1-6 ATS in their last 7 games in Detroit as well Friday. So yeah, it just screams like, they'll cover this game and probably win by 8 or 9. But I haven't played that yet Friday. Another look I was looking at in this one was just the Detroit team total over 112.5. And that's predicated on not just Detroit's offense, which hasn't looked that great recently in all their games, but that's more so of tired legs for the Wizards and just trash defense, right? So if I'm thinking about that Friday, Detroit has went over this 112.5 number 3 of the last 4 games. They only missed it against Cleveland, which even without Jared Allen, they're still a much better defensive team than what we're going to see from the Wizards, what the Wizards are going to put out there. The Wizards defensively Friday, they're allowing 119 points on the road post All-Star break. That's 20th. So bottom 10.
Yeah, I pulled up the over-under stuff right here for you just to after.
My God. So I'm almost done, Friday. So opponent field goal percentage is they're allowing teams to shoot 48%. That also ranks 20th, right? So then they're allowing 13 threes per game post All-Star break. That ranks 17th. And teams are shooting 38% from 3. That's 21st, right? They're also ranked 20th in opponent rebounding. So I just think all those things in totality, I just feel like Washington, just probably, even if they do show up, I just think that Detroit's playing with such a new energy and such a new effort and intensity right now Friday. I could only look towards Detroit to either go over that team total of 112.5 or to cover the spread at 4.5. And I'll figure out exactly which one, I want to play the most. But I'm definitely going to lock one of those in Friday for sure.
Amazing analysis, bro. Amazing analysis. You can always find value, even if it's not a marquee matchup. You can still find value. You basically talked me into not betting against it. I'm not going to bet on the Wizards anyways, right? I haven't placed a bet on the Wizards definitely since before the Dinwiddie trade, and definitely since Beal. I haven't placed a bet on the Wizards while Bradley Beal has been out. So that's been like 2 months now. You laid it out very, very, very well for us. Shout out to Sosa the Locksmith in the chat as well, our brother.
Hope
you're having a great morning as well, dog. Let's go. Let's keep it going. He was on Duke, bro. Let's go. Not to put him out there. Sorry, everyone. But the Pistons in this game, I can't bet against the Pistons. They're one of the most profitable teams in the NBA this month. ATS, they're a solid live betting team. More of what I said about last night's game with the Wizards. Everyone, if you watched it, not many people did. They did play well enough where you do see teams that are young, that are trying to put together new lineups, new rosters, that are in a period of transition. You do sometimes see it carry over the next night in the early part of the game. Like I could definitely see the Pistons covering today, but the Wizards maybe winning the first quarter or maybe looking like a respectable competitive team in the first half. The Pistons have been money in the first half though. I'm not going to bet against them. I do like a couple of props. I like one prop in this game. Like I said, Sadiq Bey over 16.5 points. And on the Wizards side of things, the only player I would target is Rui Hachimura on the back-to-back for Porzingis tonight. It's a back-to-back for Porzingis. We know his history. There's nothing right now listed, but I do think he is completely healthy. He's finally completely healthy, Porzingis, after this long stretch of a lack of health. But let's just say he is in load management or injury management mode on the second night of a back-to-back in a meaningless game. They are trying to reintegrate Rui Hachimura. I can see him going over his points prop tonight. I'm just not going to mess with any Wizards players today, but I do have a lean towards Rui Hachimura to go over his points prop total when that is offered. We can move on to the next game, and I'll pull it up on the screen. We're going to get into some better games now, I think, right? Hawks Warriors. very interesting game to talk about here. Can't wait to talk about this one. I'll pull up the stats. Give us some opening thoughts, Chris. I'll just pull up the stats for everyone on the screen. And also subscribe to the channel and like the video. Help us out. See you.
Yeah, for sure, Friday. So yeah, while you're doing that, bro, I'll tell you what I got for this one. So I saw the line open up at -2 in favor of Atlanta. And then I saw it go up to 3 in some places already. So, for the Wizards side of things, this is a 3rd and 4 for them, for the guys who didn't get the rest the other day, because we know that Steve Kerr rested some guys. This is also a 4 and 6 Friday. So I wouldn't be, as run into the pay window with a ticket for guys like Jordan Poole, who haven't been, resting recently. They've been playing. He's been playing. Him, Wiggins, they've been kind of carrying the load for that offense, specifically against that Heat team the other day when the other guys, rested. Huge increase of volume and usage for guys like Wiggins and Jordan Poole. So on the Atlanta side of things, you also get a 3rd and 4 for them as well. 3rd game in 4 nights. This is also a 4 and 6 for them as well, Friday, in their first game back home. I typically don't like to take teams on their first game back home, but it was just a short 2-game trip. I think you do have to, they are off 2 days rest. You do have to, take that, way of capping with a grain of salt when it's specific teams that do play well at home. So for me, Friday, you get a Golden State team that's, even though they won against Miami, I still think that to me, they're still in shambles. I need a larger sample size of this collective group without Steph, having Draymond back. Iggy is also questionable for the night, so he can make his return. They just got Gary Payton II back. I need more evidence Friday before I bet on this Golden State team right now. And then I think on the Atlanta side of things, man, like they just wet the bed on the second night of a back-to-back against Detroit after going to New York and playing so well and getting that cushion that they need to separate themselves from the Knicks, right? So it's totally volatile right now, Friday. Same thing with Charlotte. Charlotte couldn't beat the Knicks when they had a chance to go, to increase their position in the standings as well. So I don't really like either one of these teams, Friday. I want to see what happens. This is a game that I'll sit and watch. I'll take a deeper dive a little more, but I just feel like I need more Friday. I need a bigger sample size. I do know on the Wizards side of things, the Warriors side of things, I'm sorry, they should get their guys back today. I talked about Iggy coming back as well. Everybody that was rested, the Draymonds of the world, the Klay Thompsons of the world. I think those guys do come back. And I know for Atlanta, Gallinari, and Lou Williams, who missed the game last game for personal reasons, they both should play. You also get a revenge game for Atlanta as well. They lost 127 to 113 back in November.
And
but yeah,
that was also a game where the Hawks were up at the half. I remember that night. This is a game. There's a very interesting comment that Draymond Green, you're getting a lot of love in the chat as well, everyone. Appreciate all the love and support as well for Chris, for the live stream, everyone in the chat, just the positivity. Keep spreading positivity. And Chris is a statistical hard drive. In his mind, he's recounting stats. He's remembering stats. He's writing stats. He's going off. He's going off. So hit the like button, everyone. Let's continue.
I appreciate that, Friday.
And
appreciate the love in the chat too, bro. Always.
100%. This also, if you guys don't know, I know today is Friday, but my nickname in real life is Friday. My friends, they call me Friday. If you want to know why Chris was saying that, not everyone is aware of it. Probably no one is aware of that. Only my friends are aware of that. But my nickname is Friday. That's how it goes. Back to the analysis. Draymond Green made a very interesting comment a couple of weeks ago after a performance that the Memphis Grizzlies had, where he basically made it seem like the Warriors don't care about the 3 seed, right? And we've seen their performance. Their performance has been declining overall, ATS, since the All-Star break in general. But we've seen this team not perform very well after halftime in the fourth quarter. They go on scoring droughts. I believe it's going to be a very tough atmosphere tonight in Atlanta. Right? You have almost a completely clean bill of health for the Hawks tonight. And I do think they're going to get their revenge today. I have a half unit bet on the Hawks -2.5, and I have a sprinkle on Kevin Huerter over 11.5 points. I think both are going to hit tonight. You look at a Hawks team that's one game under 500. They're in the 10th seed right now. They still have a chance over these last couple of games to improve just a bit to where they could possibly play a home game in the play-in tournament. They are behind. They dug themselves a large hole. But when you look at the style of play, you look at the way this Hawks team performs after losses when returning home. You have a clean bill of health, except for John Collins. But the Hawks have actually shown tremendous offensive efficiency without John Collins. I think John Collins has been a cog in their offense at times. When you have a more heightened role for responsibility for players like Kevin Huerter, I'm actually a fan of Kevin Huerter. I think that he should be highlighted more for development within that organization. You see that him and DeAndre Hunter have taken Bogdanovich's minutes. I've got the Hawks to cover this game. It's going to be very tough, but I do believe that the Hawks are more motivated than the Warriors are. When you look at the Warriors would be satisfied with the 4 seed right now. If they get to play Denver in the first round of the playoffs, they'd be satisfied with that. They're not really super interested in catching the Grizzlies in the standings. You combine that with a Hawks team that is, like I said, a game below 500. Critical game tonight. And I think the odds reflect that. It's pretty tough. You rarely see a team with the record of the Hawks to be favored against a team with a record as strong as the Warriors. I know Steph Curry is out, but I do think that we're going to get primetime Hawks tonight. And that's actually one of my favorite plays today. I didn't go full bet on it just because I spread my bets out. I spread my bets out today, but I like the Hawks to cover, and I like Kevin Huerter to go over 11.5 points. I think it's shaded up for a reason tonight. I think he's going to have a stellar bounce back performance in a secondary scoring role behind Trae Young. And I have a strong lean for Trae Young as well to go over his points prop total. I noticed that it increased from 26.5 up to 27.5 overnight. Usually with franchise players, the movement really matters with franchise guys because there's a lot of money coming in on these players. Never forget that franchise players have probably 5 to 10 times more money on them than role players, than bench players. So you do see much more dramatic line movements for these guys, especially towards the end of the season. Trae Young, he's coming off a disappointing performance against this Pistons team, a Pistons team that's been a thorn in his side. I think he comes out pissed off tonight in front of that home crowd, State Farm Arena, the Warriors coming in. Let's go Hawks tonight. Let's go Kevin Huerter. Have a bit more on the Hawks. That's what I'm rolling with. I definitely don't blame you for staying on the sidelines. This is sharp stuff. You may be able to get a better line in game as well, but I jumped on this one. I actually liked it last night. Let's keep it going, Chris. Any other thoughts on this game before we move on?
Now, one thing that I was reading early, and I wanted to pull it back up while you were talking about that is, I think you make an excellent point as far as Steve Kerr. I mean, they don't really care, right? Their objective is to win a championship. They could care less if they get the 6th seed, the 7th seed. Like they don't care about seeding at all. And one of the quotes that he actually said after last night, after the game against Miami on Friday, bodes well with your pick of taking Atlanta -2.5, which should be the more desperate team and the team that's at home. He had a quote Friday. I'm gonna just read this real quick, and then we can move on to the next game. But Steve Kerr said, just talking to the training staff and continuing the process of making sure our players who have been injured, who are recovering from injury, are getting the rest that they need and not subjecting them to risk. These decisions are based on the process, not the results of the previous night's game. And he was talking about how, they came out and laid an egg to the Orlando Magic, right? When me and you both were on the first quarter in that game, they didn't cover first quarter or first half or full game. But he was talking more so about the process of the season, not these specific games. So if they lose this game Friday, I don't really think that they care. And I can see Atlanta coming out and winning this game by, you caught it at 2.5. You only need one possession. So I like that a lot Friday. And if I was going to get talked on, it definitely wouldn't be this Golden State team.
Yeah, they don't know. The Golden State Warriors left a really bad taste in my mouth after that Orlando Magic game. Complete hit job, disgusting performance. I actually projected them to bounce back the next night against the Heat, but the injury report sort of scared me off of that game from even talking about them, just the way they lost the Magic, right? But this Warriors team does have an ability to lock down for a couple of quarters at a time. I just don't think the complete motivation is there. Maybe play some props. I do think Jonathan Kuminga, if they set his line too low today on his points prop, his minutes have been increasing. Kuminga has been a moneymaker. Take a look at Kuminga if your book offers it later. We have a question in the chat as well from Richard. He's asking about, oh yeah, yesterday I said, the other day I said that a couple of teams are trying to dodge the Brooklyn Nets in the standings. It's very evident the Miami Heat are one of those teams. The other team is the Philadelphia 76ers. They don't want to play the Nets in the first round. I think that might be the reason why you're seeing some strange performances from the Heat recently. We're going to get into that game now because I do think the Heat project well for today, but they need their guys. Great analysis as always, Chris. Let's move on to the next game. Let me pull it up on the screen, get your opening thoughts. Yeah, let's move on to the Heat and the Knicks. The line's actually up to 7 now. Wow, it was 5.5. I have some interesting thoughts on this game. How do you feel about this one, Chris?
Friday.
The Jekyll and Hyde Knicks.
me too, bro. Like, I definitely got some thoughts on this one Friday. For me, it's damn near really. It's really difficult to cap with all of Miami players being questionable, of course. I'm looking at Vincent being ruled out, Victor Oladipo, who made his recent return. He's also out. Duncan Robinson's questionable. PJ Tucker's questionable. Martin's questionable. Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero are questionable, of course. But the line, it tells us a story Friday, and I think that line says that those guys play. I got a question last night before I ended the spaces about this game. I could only look towards the way you're looking Friday, and I wish I would have probably jumped on it at 5.5. I know the Knicks are playing pretty well. You on the opposite side of things, you do get a Knicks team that we don't know if Julius Randle will play. I see him listed as questionable. Same thing with Mitchell Robinson. But honestly, I'm not really looking towards the actual opponent in this one Friday. It's more so of a Heat bounce back spot. I hold the Heat in such high regard that I do expect them to come out today and get it together. I know a lot of people saw the bickering back and forth between Jimmy Butler and Spoelstra the other night. And, they people, the media, right? People are going to, make a big scene of it. And maybe you're afraid to take the Miami Heat. I think this is the perfect spot to take Miami in Friday. And I wish, like you said, being that the number went from 5.5 up to 7, I wish I had jumped on it when I saw it at 5.5, because I talked about it last night. I think one of the things that kind of helps me Friday, I watched the post conference after that game. And of course, the first question Spoelstra got asked was, how what happened? What was that between you and Jimmy Butler? And he said something along the lines of, well, we really just trying to figure out what we're going to eat for dinner, and we had a disagreement. So I think that stuff gets brushed underneath the rug Friday. At the end of the day, these are professionals. They hold themselves in high disregard. They hold themselves extremely accountable, and this is what you have when you see such a big letdown from your team, especially given not just the losses that they had Friday recently, but the way that they lost those games, the injury report, the teams that they've been losing to. That Philly team without James Harden and Embiid, you lost to them, and then you lose to Golden State when they rest all their players. To me, this just seemed like a perfect bounce back spot Friday, and I'm probably not going to take it at 7, but I can see it being a 10-point win. And I would probably look early too Friday. I think that the Heat get it together early, as long as those guys are in. I'm not telling people to bet it right now, but I would probably look to Heat, first quarter or first half. I haven't even looked at those markets at all Friday, but I think they absolutely come out here and probably put their foot on the New York Knicks' throat, especially if Julius Randle comes back, because we know the impact of having that superstar back. You want to fade that superstar when they come back. Such a high usage guy. So that's what I got on Friday. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, bro. What are you thinking in this one?
Great analysis. I'm personally waiting for the Randall news. I think he's doubtful in some places, questionable in others, to see if we can maybe get this line to come back down. RJ Barrett has had some stellar performances against the Miami Heat, but I do want to make note that it is pretty funny to say that the Miami Heat are the 2022 version of the Los Angeles Clippers when it comes to injury reports. Their games are almost unbettable at early hours unless you really, really have a strong situational play. I think this is one of them where the team could be galvanized around the negative attention that they received from the fight between Spoelstra, as you mentioned, and Jimmy Butler, Udonis Haslem the other night. It was so public. The only thing that's giving me pause for concern is that they have a huge game tomorrow night against the Brooklyn Nets. So I think a couple of these guys may really sit out on this game today. But also when you look a bit deeper, I mean, they can still achieve their mission of dodging the Brooklyn Nets. They can win tonight and just tank tomorrow. Like, there's some people who don't want to bet the Heat today because they play the Nets tomorrow. Like they might save their guys tomorrow. They could play it could be the opposite. Either scenario can happen, we don't know. They could easily rest their guys today and play them for the Heat tomorrow, or play them today and dodge the Nets tomorrow, trying to dodge them in the playoffs. You just don't know. The Heat, I respect their roster, their organization. They're a cartel team when it comes to these injury reports. I have a strong lean towards the Heat to get these guys out of the way, and possibly Max Strus to go over 1.5 threes if your book lists the prop, which they probably won't until 2 hours before the game, knowing the Miami Heat. It's just an unclear situation right now. The other night, this team had a freakish three-point performance, the New York Knicks, but I actually like this Knicks team without Randall, without Kemba Walker. I'll give Evan Fournier a pass for now, because it seems like he has improved his play since Kemba Walker got out of the way. It seems like he will be on the Knicks going forward. But this team, when you look at Emmanuel Quickley, when you look at Miles McBride is the reason they shut Kemba Walker down, if you don't know. This kid for the G League affiliate for the Knicks was averaging like 23, 24 points a game, absolutely balling. So they do have quality guard play, but they just don't have experience. They're an extremely young team. That's why they could get crushed tonight. They have young players, RJ Barrett, Quickly, Miles McBride, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes. This is a very, very young core that bodes well for the future. It's just that they rely heavily, that core that I just said, including Evan Fournier, they rely heavily on the three-point shot. If Julius Randle comes back tonight, I actually think it's a fade for the Knicks, and I will probably jump on the Heat then, because he'll probably mess their rhythm up. This team looked galvanized in the absence of Julius Randle. I think if he plays tonight, they're going to get smoked. That's just my opinion. But I'm on Max Strus alert tonight. Max Strus, I'm waiting for his props to be offered. If it's 1.5 and a couple of these guys are out, people will probably naturally gravitate to Duncan Robinson tonight, one of my 5 favorite props players in the NBA. But tonight's a Max Strus night if they offer it. I'm saying it right now. Any other thoughts on this game? We could probably speed through the rest of them. I am getting pretty hungry, but we'll get the best analysis we can.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm talking trash.
Sure, no, I'm with you, bro. bro. I actually didn't get a chance to fully cap, too many of the other games anyway. So I'll look at those, and I'll hold the spaces later as well. But yeah, we can go through as many as you want to, bro. Whatever you want to do is your show. I'm glad to be here, bro.
100%. I appreciate the analysis as well. Like I said, I wish I got the line last night. Guy said the Heat are fugazi, straight up. We know. This is at times, though. Yeah. But I do think that once you start to see the national media use language like the Heat will get bounced in the first round, you're seeing this in certain places, getting national attention. I do think that you're seeing them get left off of people's power rankings, prominent analysts' power rankings, all of a sudden, just because they lost 2 or 3 games. They haven't covered 5 games. I think it's a little too early to start that talk, to go down that road. This Heat team is still very, very high-quality team. I think they're going to make noise in the playoffs. They're a threat, just like the Celtics. Don't turn your back just because they lost a couple of tickets. This team still bodes well. Teams like the Heat actually perform well when everybody turns their back on them. So let's see if we're going to get that explosion from them today or tomorrow, but it's coming. Either today or tomorrow will be a blowout. Either today or tomorrow.
I look for. I like that you mentioned the Brooklyn spot tomorrow Friday. But even with that, I look for them to be able to be able to get specifically early in this game, right? Like I think that they dominate the game and they probably win. Given all the guys are in Friday. But one thing, just 2 things. So one other quote I read Friday actually came from Bam. He was talking about the incident Friday. He said, "This is us in practice. It just so happened to boil over in a game. We're so passionate and we want to win that bad. It may look like we want to fight each other, but we're brothers. We're going to get through this." And you gotta, when you read that, you gotta figure out, because you're not able to hear him say it. You got to figure out if you believe that, and for myself, or if you don't. And for myself, I do believe that Friday, which is why I'd be looking for the Heat, probably early to come out and punch the Knicks in the mouth, especially if their guys are ruled in and Julius Randle plays. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick Friday is one. I haven't placed this yet. But based on the a couple of games that we covered already, if you were to parlay Friday the Detroit Pistons money line with the Knicks money line, you get plus 113 odds, and I think both of those teams win today. So that's something else for your audience that I'll probably end up playing, but I haven't placed that either. I'll just kind of wait until we get injury news later into the day. But yeah, the Knicks I'm sorry, the Miami Heat and the Detroit Pistons money line is plus 113 right now. If you wanted a small, 2-leg parlay for plus money.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know when you lock that in, bro. Just send me a message. Let me know when you lock that in. Let's see how it goes for today. And yeah, we can get off that game. I appreciate the
Yeah.
analysis. It's going to be an interesting game to watch. I'll be watching this game, the Heat and the Knicks. I just want to see how a team with so many veterans like the Heat, how do they respond after that fiasco against the Warriors? So I will be watching this game while I watch the Warriors Hawks game. Sunday game. Yeah, I'll double check that now. Yeah, they've been disrespected. The Heat, they disrespected themselves recently, But honestly, overall, they have been getting disrespected. I would have to agree. Let's move on to a game that I personally don't have anything in. I don't have anything in this game today, and I'll tell you why. The other day, I bet on the Mavs when they were at home against the T-Wolves. That game was very, very tough for me to watch. It was one of the most exciting games I've watched recently, but it's really painful to lose your money to Patrick Beverley, bro, because it feels like he's taking your money when he does the shit he does. Patrick Beverley the other day, this guy's out of control, bro. This guy's a ticket killer. He's like SGA, but in a worse way, in a bad way. He's a ticket killer. And I don't like how he slows the game down sometimes and makes it not about basketball at times. You know, how he got into Luka's head. I do think Luka will bounce back individually today, but nothing for me today in this game, although I will be at this game, everyone. I do want to say to everyone here, Raptors versus Timberwolves next week on Wednesday. I will be at that game. Can't wait. And between everyone here, I will be sitting right behind Patrick Beverley. Okay, so I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna let him know the damage that he caused that night. You guys remember what he did? How you feel about this game? How you feel about this game, Chris?
Hey, everything you said Friday, I'm with you, bro. From Patrick Beverley being a nuisance, like that, like in just like who he is, like that's who he is, like on the court, off the court, him being a nuisance. I agree with that, Friday. I'm passing on the game, like I don't have a play at all. These two teams just played each other, like you said, and of course that game shouldn't have ended the way that it did. There was some poor officiating as well. So yeah, I don't have anything. You also get Cat questionable, so we got to make sure he's playing with that forearm injury. So yeah, nothing for me either Friday. So this is a game I will watch though. And kind of pay attention to. You do get a Dallas team that's they are 2-0 and covered both of the spreads in the last two, but Minnesota beat them earlier in the year by 6 and covered their spread by 3.5. So yeah, this is a game I'll be watching Friday. I don't have anything official on this one at all, bro.
I really do find this game to be unpredictable to me, but the Minnesota Timberwolves have an amazing offense. They're coming off of a couple of games, ATS losses as well. So I do think that they could be motivated coming off of 2 L's. But this Dallas team does not like these guys. Does not like them. I know Luka's coming back today. Minnesota though at the crib, I think they do have an edge offensively. I'm just going to stay away from this game partially because of what I said the other day, and I have my bets on other games. So best of luck to everyone that's getting involved with this one. Should be a playoff type atmosphere in Minnesota, especially since they played essentially a playoff game the other day. It was crazy. I can't stop talking about that game, but we'll move on. Chris, we'll get out of here. We've been here for almost a full hour. We're sharing our thoughts, sharing our research, everyone. Hit the like button. We have about 200 people watching right now. Show us some love. Follow Chris on Twitter. Follow myself on Twitter as well, at My Guy Knows a Guy. Chris B. Capin on Twitter. We have 2 more games to talk about briefly, and we'll get out of here. Hit like on the video, subscribe, all that. Drop a comment afterwards. We really, really appreciate all the love and support. Let's keep going. Let's try to make as much money as possible. Playoffs right around the corner. You guys know what time of year it is. It's win or go home. Let's keep it going up until this game. Let's spend about less than 30 seconds on this one, bro. The Rockets and the Blazers. It's another 30-second analysis right here. No, I'm talking trash. I do want to say one thing to everyone in the chat, though. I don't care. The Rockets should never be favored on the road. I don't care who's playing on the other side. The Rockets should never be favored on the road. And even if all their guys play, Josh Hart is out tonight for his knee. The Blazers are tanking. They did a lot of damage to themselves at the beginning of the season by winning a lot of games that they probably did not want to win. They are paying the price for that right now. But I will not be surprised if the Blazers beat these guys tonight without anyone. Without anyone. The Houston Rockets are a greedy organization. They haven't even won, 15 games yet? How many games have they won, Chris?
18 and 55. Right.
Yeah, 18 and 55. They haven't won 20 games yet. And you're hearing their GM say, everybody in the organization is bought into our future strategy. Everybody is bought in. The only strategy that they've laid out is tanking, super tanking. So if everybody's bought into that strategy, that means everybody is okay with losing. I won't be surprised if the Blazers get the upset tonight. I won't bet on this game. But I will say this gives me a chance to plug my premium stuff as well. The market isn't available, but in my Telegram group, I will be sharing one prop for this game. The prop market, you let me know if it's changed. The prop market has not opened for this game yet. Am I wrong, Chris? You can let me know. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's soft. There's one prop for the Rockets that I will be betting on today strongly. I just want to quick plug, quick promo. How do you feel about this game, Chris?
Man, you wrapped it up Friday. I can't bet on the Rockets on the road, but I can't. There's no way I can bet on if you betting on Portland, man. You got a lot of extra money laying around Friday. That's a lot of extra money you got a lot laying around. It's specifically with they're doing a great tank job, right? The guys are gone. CJ McCollum, gets traded. Damian Lillard's gone, but they even the guys who have the highest usage rate Friday on their team and like some of the vets. Like, because it's such a young team, they're gone too. I'm talking specifically about like Justin Winslow. I'm talking about Josh Hart. They already got ruled out. The only way I could look at this in this game Friday would be towards the team total. I've been cashing on some team total overs, strictly a fade from the Portland defense. It's atrocious, dude. Like the Spurs scored like 80 points in the first half the other day. And I know the Houston Rockets
without even going to the free throw line. I've never seen a team score 80 in the first half without going to the free throw line, bro.
Dude, it was crazy. It literally looked like a high school team that was playing against a real NBA team. Like it was that bad. And I don't expect the Rockets to, beat the Spurs tonight, but the only way I could look is towards a first half team total or and I don't see to confirm your question Friday, I don't see the prop market open at all, but I only could look towards a team total over for the Rockets, even though they don't play as well. First half is looking like it's right now Friday, looking at 60 and a half. I think they could get to 61 points just predicated on how bad that defense is.
YMCA.
Yeah, this is what that is, Friday. I won't take any more of your time, bro, on this one at all.
No, I'm talking trash. You're not taking my time. I enjoy talking trash, but straight YMCA atmosphere tonight. What? Look up the ticket prices. Someone in the chat, look up the ticket prices for this Blazers home game tonight. What product are they seeing? Enough bashing them though. I love the NBA. I actually love the NBA. Even if it's in a bad state, I love the NBA. If this was the only game on, I'd watch it. But yeah, in this game, not much else for me. Let's move on to the final game, 76ers Clippers. Any thoughts on this one, Chris? And we can get to our picks and get out of here. Hit the like button as well, everyone. Let's move on.
Yeah, Friday. So man, I think this game is going to be interesting. I will say I haven't really got a chance to fully cap this Sixers and Clippers game, but I honestly I think I could only look towards Philly in this one. I just feel like Embiid should be able to have his way. It does kind of give me some concern Friday. I watched him he got fouled by Stanley Johnson the other day. I don't know if he was watching that Friday, but when he got fouled, he kind of reached at that back. And we already knew that he wasn't 100%. I think everybody knows he's like literally just, if you read the quotes, you read in between the lines. He said that, he's not 100%. They're trying to manage his workload, but I just don't see a way that that they don't cover this game. No travel because they just played against the Lakers. So, you get a day off in LA, which is not the greatest thing for somebody like James Harden to be in LA, but that's where he's from. So, you also get, a Clippers team that has performed pretty bad recently. So I do look for them to come up eventually, but then I feel like at this point, also I'll add Friday that Paul George has been practicing. I think they expect him back soon. But you get a Clippers team Friday. I think that I think they're pretty locked in where they are right now. They're like, okay, we are where we are. That's cool. You see the reports coming out from Tyronn Lue saying that his starters won't play a certain amount of minutes per game, because they're just content with where they are, which is cool. Which would make me only look towards Philly. I feel like Philly has more to prove in this spot. and this is with me doubt, not fully capping the game Friday, but I feel like they have more to prove in this spot. They also get a day off before they have to go to Philly. I'm sorry, before they go to Phoenix, and then that'll end a 3-game road trip for them. So yeah, I would only look towards Philly in this game. I don't think that they can slow down Embiid at all. Friday. What are your thoughts, bro?
I'm aligned with you on Embiid being a wrecking ball in this game as well. It's just like what you said. I think you were sort of alluding to the intention of the organization. Doc Rivers made some shady comments about randomly resting Harden and Embiid. Like he said, don't basically, if I were to paraphrase, just don't be surprised when I rest these guys going into the home stretch. We're basically trying to dodge the Nets. We're not trying to play the Nets in the first round. I'm Doc Rivers. I'm not trying to get fired. So we're going to make sure these guys are fresh. When it comes to a game like tonight, though, I have a lean towards the under in this game. I need these guys to play. It's a contrarian look, but I have a lean towards the under in this game on the total. It's dropped 3 points from the overnight. I would have actually probably endorsed that with my group earlier today if I was able to jump ahead of the line movement. I thought it was going to go the other way. That's why maybe keep your eye on the injury report for this game tonight all the way until the last second. The Philadelphia 76ers, shout out to my dog Sosa. We love Sosa, but the 76ers, when it comes to injury reports, they are not to be trusted. They're not to be trusted when it comes to injury reports. So just maybe don't bet the bag on this game. Just wait until you get a clear understanding to make sure, because are they motivated to play the Clippers right now? They're in LA. They've been there for a few days. This is a game where they could win maybe without Embiid or Harden, but it's tricky for me. There are a lot of moving parts, a lot of variables here. But that's about it for me. That's about it for me in this game. Although I do think Embiid, if he plays, he may go over his points prop total as well. I didn't play that, but I think you just said that as well. I'm completely aligned with you on that. But we need him to play. We need them to say he's playing. There's nothing about Embiid right now, but just know how the Sixers rock. Just know how the Sixers rock with these injury reports. And other than that, let's get to the picks. Chris. Let's get to the picks, bro.
Sure.
Just some leans or anything to leave the people with some stuff. We've been here for a while. I'll put timestamps on the video for people that just joined us. You can go back and rewind to the part of the game that you want to hear. I didn't do that yesterday. Sorry for the inconvenience. And also, I will be joining Chris later on today on the Twitter Spaces session that he hosts. Shout out to Finesse the Books as well. I'm not sure where he's at. I'm sure he's out there somewhere in the wild. But I will be on Twitter Spaces later to show Chris some love and just share some picks. You never know what can change between now. Sometimes it's good to talk about the games now. Later in the day, anything can change. How you feel about the games today, Chris? Share some stuff. I'll just take this off the screen.
Yeah, for sure, Friday. So first, man, I just want to give you a shout out, bro. I appreciate you having me on the platform, man. Always. I go back to one of your tweets I saw Friday. This was like probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. I wake up. Sometimes I'm just thinking about this, and don't paraphrase me on what you tweeted Friday, but it was something along the lines of, it doesn't really matter. Like I'll talk basketball all day long in the mirror to myself if I had to. And that's how I feel Friday. I just feel like, where's the hour gone? We've been on here for an hour and 2 minutes, bro. And I just feel like, it's we just having a conversation and we have people to be able to engage with us. So I love that. I love that Friday. I love the opportunity, bro. Appreciate you for sure on that. And then also, before I give out picks, so I do have a YouTube channel as well, Friday. It's same thing as my Twitter, Crispy Capping. That's 2 P's and 2 N's. So feel free to give me a shout over there. I'm going to start creating some more content myself. So feel free to give me a follow. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is there, Crispy Capping. Twitter Spaces are daily at 5:30 throughout the week, and then on the weekend it just kind of depends on what time we get a first game. But I'm hosting every day. I haven't made that a commitment, but I mean it pretty much happens every single day Friday. So yeah, follow me on Twitter for live picks. It's, other cappers as well. Some really, really great sharp insight as well. Cashing tickets every day over there, man. So I definitely appreciate the Crispy Capping community, man, because it's definitely growing. It's growing fast. It's all love. And then as far as these picks for today, Friday, I'm really looking towards Utah first quarter. I think that they bounce back. I'm not going to take them on the spread because I know that their defense is atrocious, specifically on the road. But I do like that team total over 28.5. I think you get a motivated Utah team, to come out and pretty much they could score 30 in the first quarter. I think they also get a pace up and play. They're one of the slower paced teams. They they get a Hornets team that plays a little bit faster than they do. So I like that team total over 28.5 Friday. I haven't placed it yet. And Gobert rebounds, another strong lean for me. Haven't placed that yet either. 14.5 is high. He hasn't hit this number recently, but that's just me going out on a limb. I love the matchup with exposure. I love the exposure that he gets being matched up against Plumlee. I expect a close game as well. I talked about Charlotte being bottom 8 in rebounding against centers. I talked about them allowing the 20th most rebounds at home post All-Star break. And then Detroit. That's the other thing for me Friday. Triple revenge spot for Detroit. The line is moving in my favor. I like Detroit to come in and clean up the Wizards. They haven't beaten them this year, especially if you get Kuzma out. I really like Detroit a lot Friday, and I'm debating whether I want to take Detroit to cover that spread or if I want to take Detroit team total and just fade that, not have to worry about the spread as much, but take that team total over 112.5, a line that they've hit in 3 of the last 4. And you get a Wizards team that's allowing 119 points on the road post All-Star break, which is 20th. So I gave out some of those stats earlier, but those are like my favorite looks so far Friday.
Amazing. Thanks for that, bro. As always, everyone bet responsibly. Don't bet everything on one game. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose. It's entertainment for some. It's more serious for others. But at the end of the day, don't bet more than you can lose. Crispy Captain, I really appreciate you, bro. I will be in the spaces later. And yeah, we have 200 people watching right now. Make sure everyone go and subscribe to Crispy Captain's channel. Help him build a strong foundation for his channel and support people that give quality free content that are helpful and give you good insights that have good intentions. Help him double his subscriber count as soon as the video is done. Let's my picks today. I just wrote them out right here. I have got the Hawks -2.5. I have Hawks -2.5. I have Sadiq Bey over 16.5 points tonight. I have Donovan Mitchell over 5.5 assists, and I have Kevin Huerter over 11.5 points. Those 4 bets, small bets, all 4 are small bets, but I have a bit more on the Hawks -2.5. I will be trying to live bet that game with my group. Check out some of my services. Check out some of my offerings as well. Follow us on Twitter, Crispy Captain. My guy knows a guy. Crispy Captain will be back, God willing, in the future. We will see how everything goes. Everybody, stay the course, stay reasonable, stay responsible. Appreciate everyone watching the NBA Betting Today live stream. This was a lot of fun. We'll be doing it a lot more. More guests coming tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, Saturday morning. Make sure you guys watch the live stream. We'll have another guest on. It's my guy knows a guy, Crispy Captain. I'm talking in circles. I need a drink of water. I need another breakfast. We need all that. Chris, give him a shout out on the way out. We'll end the live stream. I appreciate everyone.
Yeah, Friday. Appreciate you, bro. As always, man. Like I said, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube. The YouTube name is the same as the Twitter name. 2 P's, 2 N's. Crispy Captain. Daily show on Twitter, 5:30 p.m. We're doing it again today. Look forward to coming back on and chopping it up again with you Friday. And let's get some cash, man. All this is for the money. We're doing this for the money. We want to see green tickets and we want to see cash. So let's do it Friday. Appreciate you, bro, for having me, man.
100% with the Bone Thugs lyrics.